Okay guys, so today we're going to take some quick C notes on igneous rocks. So make sure that if I tell you to write it down or any definition, I will be checking for them when I check your C notes. So let's talk about how igneous rocks are made. Igneous rocks are formed when a hot liquid rock, which is magma or lava, cools and hardens. The type of igneous rock that forms depends on the composition of the magma, which means what the magma is made up of, and the amount of time it takes that magma or lava to cool. So magma can be created in three ways. When a rock is heated to the point that it melts, when pressure is released off a rock, then it will liquidate, and when the composition of the rock changes. Igneous rocks can look very different in appearance depending on how fast they cool. So this kind of is what makes igneous rocks one of the hardest groups to classify because they can look a variety of different ways. Did they form on the Earth's surface out of lava? Did they form deep inside the Earth from the magma? Light-colored rocks that tend to be lighter in color and less dense are called felsic, and darker, denser rocks are called mafic. So here's an example. Notice this rock on the left, how it is a lot lighter in color. We would call this a felsic igneous rock, where this one on the right that's a lot darker in color would be considered a mafic igneous rock. So color is one way to classify igneous rocks. The amount of time it takes the magma to cool determines the texture of the igneous rock. The longer it takes for the magma or lava to cool, the more time the crystals have to grow. The more time the crystals have to grow, the coarser the texture is going to be. So, looking at texture. Here, we have two pieces of granite. They are both granite. However, if you look at the picture on the left, the texture tends to be a lot more coarse, meaning notice how you see bigger chunks and pieces of the different type of crystal. You can see the red from the gypsum, you can see the black, you can see the white crystal forming. This on the other side is also granite, but it has a lot finer texture. So if I was to ask you which piece of granite cooled faster, the one on the left or the one on the right, what would you say? The answer is the one on the right. Because this one cooled faster, the crystals did not have as much time to grow, so it has a finer texture. So the coarser the texture, the longer it takes to cool. Okay, so texture is another way to determine and classify an igneous rock. So far we have color, and now we have texture. And texture is directly related to the amount of time it takes a rock to cool. So make sure you write that down. So let's go into the two main ways to break down igneous rocks. And these were your vocabulary words that you had to do 2 weeks ago. Extrusive igneous rocks. Extrusive are igneous rocks that form on the Earth's surface. Meaning, if they're forming on the Earth's surface, they are going to cool very quickly, and they're going to contain very small crystals, if none at all. And an example would be obsidian, volcanic glass. And I will be passing a model of that around in class tomorrow for you to see. Because obsidian, what happens is when the lava from a volcano on the Earth's surface, hence why it's extrusive, hits that ocean water, it cools so quickly that it looks like glass, meaning there are no crystals in it. So it is an extrusive igneous rock. Intrusive means that it is formed deep inside the earth, beneath the Earth's surface. So it is formed from magma. Extrusive is lava. Intrusive is magma. The magma is well insulated by the surrounding rock, so it cools very, very slowly. Intrusive igneous rocks are normally very coarse-grained texture, like granite. Okay? And so that's it on igneous rocks. So we have intrusive versus extrusive, which you're going to need to know. They can also be classified by their color, mafic or felsic, or their texture, which relates to the time that they have to cool. So if you need to rewind this video at any point, make sure that you do have the vocabulary words and the three main ways to identify an igneous rock. and I'll see you later.